Good afternoon. It is here. I don't know where it is where you are. How would I ever know that? Don't really care. This is a very quick little video to look at LASS 3, LA Scoring Things 3, and specifically this auto-divisi section. We'll look a little at the ensemble builder and all of this going on here. And the first thing to say is, well, I'm going to use Sordinos because they sound so nice, is that there's really two controls that you need to get your head round, I think, and the rest sort of looks after itself. Unfortunately, these two controls are on different pages, and the two controls are the legato control here, and so I've mapped this to a controller here. So I'll switch it on and off, and you look over here, over here, on the left, yeah, legato. So if I'm on the other page, you can still see whether it's on at the top or off at the bottom. And the other control is the auto-divisi, the little radio button here. There we go, on, off, on, off. So let's start with it all off, and you just get this. Okay, sounds all right, but it doesn't sound as good as it should do, because what's happening is that you're getting 16 violins playing on 3 notes equals 48 violins. It's not big, it's not clever, that doesn't make it sound more impressive. It actually sounds, it makes sound a bit more synthy. So that's in the bog standard out of the box mode. Let's put on the clever auto-divisi and listen again. Listen carefully. It just sounds, and I'll switch it back again, a bit more realistic. Do you hear? It's subtle, but what's going on there is that in LASS 3, you've got 3 different, completely different recordings of violins. A, which I think is 8, B and C are both 4, so that's 16 put together. It might be the other way around, but that's the principle of it anyway. And so in auto-divisi, it says, okay, you've got 3 notes. Well, you can see. When I'm playing 3 notes, divisi A plays note 1, divisi B plays note 3, C plays note 2. And you've got similar rules for 4 notes. Ignore D, that doesn't know what it's talking about. There is no D. 2 notes there and 1 note. And under the hood, it does all the workings out. So that when you play in this mode, called 2C, and you play 1 note, that's 16 strings playing, because you're only playing 1 note. It says, right, everyone, come together, we're all playing this. And if you play 2 notes, it's still only 16 strings altogether. It's not 32 strings. And if you play 3 notes, it's still only 16 strings. It's routing them to these 3 different ones. So if you just want to hear what those sections sound like very quickly, that's A. Sound a bit different, don't they? B and C. That's slightly different again. Put them all together and you get this nice, realistic wash. Okay, so that's trick 1. Trick 2, the legato. You probably know the basics of legato. I'm going to turn that off, turn legato on, and now that sounds fairly realistic. If I turn that back off, sounds like a horrible keyboard. And it's playing the transitions between the notes. And so if I just watch this in the middle, you're probably familiar. I'll be quick, I promise. Normal transitions. If I play less hard on the keys. Do you hear that one? I got it right once. That portamento, just a little glide. Now if I play really quiet, those glisses are super slow. And it's about the only library you can get that does that, playable glisses, and they're all over scores, those kind of effects. So it's a really trick. Anyway, that's your mono legato, okay? Which we're all familiar with. Polyphonic legato is that what it does is it tries to work out as you play, say, a chord. So I'm going to play a triad now. It tries to work out which notes should be joined. Let's see if it works. And I'm going to try and play soft so we get those really clear gliding sounds, and you can hopefully hear what it's doing. There it goes. So it does it together. I find in practice this doesn't always do what I want it to do. This slow, balanced and fast is that slows for people who play with boxing gloves like I do and you're just getting it wrong all the time. And slow means, okay, I think you meant to play a chord then. They were all over the place timing-wise, but I'll count it as one chord. Fast means, you know what you're doing. You're playing those chords accurately, and balanced is somewhere in the middle. Bad player, good player, so-so player. I should always keep it on slow. Even so, I'm badder than that, right? But sometimes it does weird things. That wasn't too bad. I'm just, playing nonsense. But that's what that does. Very quickly, the ensemble builder. This, you don't really need to worry about it, I don't think, is that if you play just one section, it goes to solo. If it plays to two, you can play two things at once, three things at once. If you're writing certain parts, that will be useful for you. But that switches it to the right mode anyway. If you get under the hood, you can do clever things. You can go... and then you can change this note to be an octave lower. Yeah, okay. All right, good, very good. But I'll just play what I want to play. So I don't get really involved in all that. I keep it simple. I'm a very simple soul, and I'm generally a bit of an idiot. So I like things not too hard. Humanization, same thing. It's doing all these things of randomizing the timings and the intonation that it's slightly out. Fine, great, get fiddly with that if you like, if you want to really control that. Whatever their default settings are work for me on medium, and so I leave it there. So really, it's just these two controls, auto-divisi and legato. Once you've got your head around that and you start playing it and it's not doing what you want it to do, it'll be a combination of those two controls. You just need to go, I know, I meant to just play a monophonic line, so this... and that's what I want to do. Or, no, I just want to play chords and I don't want any of your clever transitions because I can't hear them. Then you're in just that one on. Or, no, I want the whole lot. I want to have this realistic ensemble size and I want to hear those transitions. See, that sounded a bit odd. That didn't sound quite right to me. So it works for some parts and not others. And like I say, what you can do is you can just play it in the non-clever mode, turn the legato off, put your part in, tidy up your MIDI. Then you could try putting it back on and going, it's a nice little finesse you can add to it then. That's about it. And it is a lot easier to use. You'll see my old video if you go hunting around for setting up the arc, as it was called. You needed a PhD to control all that. But once it was up and running, it was brilliant. But it did take a while to get your head round. This, you can load it up pretty well and it will work. Incidentally, what I'm using here, these patches are LASS 3.1 beta versions. I was getting some corrupted projects with LASS, which is a bit horrifying. And they were very kind on support and said, we think we fixed it in this. And it seems to be all right. In general, I think LASS, Kontakt 7 is more solid for that than Kontakt 6 was. I think they've done some more bugs. Good grief, done some more bug fixing, not bugs fizzing, in Kontakt 7. I think talking to them as well. So if you want it to be a reliable thing, I'd load it in 7. 7 player is free. Okay, that's about the size of that. See you on another one day when I can be bothered. Bye.